Good evening, Drew.
Hi, and welcome to I'm Sure They're Doing Their Best, a podcast by two white dudes.
I mean, that's accurate.
Hi, and welcome to I'm Sure They're Doing Their Best, voted the 26th best podcast in Columbus.
I think that might be a little high.
Tonight on I'm Sure They're Doing Their Best, sponsored by Applebee's.
I wish. I'm dying for that sweet, sweet Applebee's money. How you doing, Drew?
Welcome to I'm Sure They're Doing Their Best, where we can't come unless you rate us on iTunes.
I can't finish unless you hit that star.
I'm Drew Fergewell from I'm Sure They're Doing Their Best, and we love the yellow starbursts. That's all I got. I was thinking about taglines today because we're coming up on 100 episodes, and I feel like we need one. Been workshopping a few. What do you think?
I think they're all good, all better than the last.
Excellent.
Oh,
all right, buddy. What's going on? How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Man, it's been a fulfilling week. It's been a very busy week, and I'm taking tomorrow off because I deserve it.
Yeah. I also see that you're a published Amazon review author. So
yeah. Congratulations, right? Big milestone.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad that went live right before the last podcast hit.
Yeah, I'm glad we got to link to that. Yeah,
I got the notification Monday morning that it had gone up, and I'm not sure how many of our listeners actually read it, but yeah, it feels good.
Oh.
And like in my head, in my fantasy, I thought maybe the seller would reach out and say, "Oh man, I'm really sorry to hear that about. Let me give you a free one," and that didn't happen.
Didn't happen. They're like, man.
No.
We got
I feel like
money.
I would.
Yeah.
I feel like I would have to sort of actively complain to them. Like I would have to physically reach out to them and say, "Hey, this thing fell on the floor and it doesn't work anymore," without cutting me. Oh, man, I heard the best joke right before this podcast.
Okay.
I stole it. I'm going to steal this from TikTok, and I'll try to find the link to the actual TikTok where I read this. And it literally had me in stitches. It's a video of a woman standing outside in the sun, and she said, it's springtime and it's time to do yard work and edge your lawn. And then it cuts to her kneeling on the grass and saying, "Don't you dare come." And I'm not even beginning to do it justice, but it was one of the funniest things I've seen all week. I'll have to put a link in the show notes if I can find it.
Oh, we're just working blue today, aren't we?
Yeah, well, I'm allowed to swear again.
You're allowed. Okay, that's good. Good.
All
I'm happy for
right,
you.
we're gonna get into the anti-money zone here in a minute, where we talk about things we bought this week.
Okay,
but I'm moving your topic to the top of the stack because I'm dying to hear how this went.
So I got my AirTags, or excuse me, pack of 4 AirTag, because AirTags aren't plural. I guess it's AirTag. You know what? They're fine. They're easy to set up. They work. I mean, there's not a whole lot to say. What did you attach them to? Like your keys, your pets, your kids? Like what did you tag? So I've only used 2 out of the 4. I put one on my my Tom Bin bag.
Okay, all right.
I used one of the AirTag loops to attach that, which is just
which color? What color?
Orange, because I have an orange bag. Though
Right,
I wish
right,
it would have got yellow because the orange doesn't really match well. It's
Oh.
too bright, but it's okay. It's okay. And I put one on my keychain, and I used the AirTag leather key ring. So it's my second key ring on my keys, right beside my leather Know My Rocks.
I love that thing.
Due by Friday keychain. Which you can only get that joke if you're a avid Due by Friday podcast listener.
If you're a good if you're a good $10 boy.
Yeah, one of Cox's Cox.
Yeah. All right, now I don't have a calculator in front of me, but I feel like that wasn't 4 AirTags.
No, it wasn't. I still have 2 in the package right here. See, listen, hear that? That's the sound of the AirTag packaging with 2 AirTags in it. So they're just sitting there doing nothing.
Now, that is the hardware experience, but how's the software experience been? Like, does the arrow point to them correctly, or?
Yeah, it works exactly how they advertised. You can go into like precision find mode, and the phone points directly where they're at. It kind of gives you a nice little haptic shake when you're close.
Ooh.
Yeah, it works.
Like a good shake.
Yeah, they work. I mean, it's really a weird product because you don't get to enjoy them really or use them fully unless you lose them.
Right. Right.
So,
and I feel like I feel it is the perfect like present for people who thrive on panic, because you would only sort of open that up if you had lost something that you knew was tagged. So you're filled with anticipation of getting to use your AirTag, and oh my God, I hope I can find the thing that's attached to.
No,
I don't know.
I think the key ring looks nice, right? It's nice leather. It's made well. You get the little like Apple logo looking at you.
Yellow leather.
Here, I'll put a link.
Yeah, let's see it.
Ooh, look at that Apple URL. That's beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good, man.
So it's nice. And like, I mean, and let's be honest, like it's just the perfect Apple product because you can't use this thing unless you really buy another accessory to use it with. Because, it's just a smooth piece of plastic and stainless steel. There's no holes in it. It's not sticky. You can't attach it to things unless you buy something. So
now I'm looking at that key ring. Now that looks snug. How do you get that thing in there?
It's that little silver thing. So basically, there's a key ring. There's a little piece of leather. There's where the AirTag is kind of exposed, holding in there. That little silver kind of grommet above it is a snap.
Oh, okay.
So you unsnap it, slide it in there, and snap it back, and you're good to go.
The leather keyring is thoughtfully crafted from the finest materials. The stainless steel is as striking as it is strong, while the European leather is specially tanned and soft to the touch. And it fits snugly over your AirTag, so you never have to worry about it falling out. AirTag is sold separately.
It sure is.
And this is more than the AirTag.
It is. Yes, it absolutely is. It's $35, which, even for Apple stuff, is a little ridiculous.
That's on the high side.
But it does look nice. It is well made. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure give it a couple more weeks and there'll be all sorts of people selling just random stuff or 3D printing cases, and the Amazon will be flooded with them. I mean, they already are, but like no one's got them yet, so there's not a whole lot of reviews. But yeah, I mean, they work exactly as you expect. They show up in the Find My app. You can find them. You can mark them as lost. I mean, the setup experience is really nice. It's very much like, setting up AirPods. The AirTag themselves, they're kind of, they're wrapped in that, the typical like little plastic coating to keep them safe in shipping. And as you're unwrapping them, one of the pieces kind of slides out from underneath and basically lets the battery be live and hit its contacts. And you do that and it makes this little like noise. And you put it by your phone, and it's like, "Hey, this is an AirTag. You want to pair it?"
Gonna need you to real time editing follow up. I'm gonna need you to extract that little noise you just made and put that at the end of every podcast.
Will do. You give it a name, and it's done. Ta-da! Yeah.
All right.
Easy peasy. Can't complain. AirTags. They do what Apple says they do.
AirTags. They'll make you come.
Nope. I mean, maybe.
If you shove anything far enough up your butt, I mean, or is that just me? I don't know. Man,
I guess they do have a speaker in them, so I guess they would vibrate a little bit technically.
Ooh. Oh my God. Can you imagine? Like you're just literally you put one of those in a naughty place and every time, well, they don't shake, right? The AirTags don't vibrate, right?
Well, they make a noise. Noise is vibration, right? It's a speaker. So, I mean, it would have to a little bit.
Can make some butt noises.
Yeah. You are on fire, Drew. On fire.
Yeah, that's a title. All right. Okay. So happy for you and your AirTags. I didn't buy them. I can't.
You're not missing much.
I know. Well, I mean, there's always this fear of missing out when it comes to us and Apple products, at least for me, right?
Yeah,
I like seeing you buy things and enjoy things, and I wish I could buy those things. But speaking of things that I bought a new lamp.
Okay, are you gonna convince me to purchase another lamp?
I don't think so. Okay. I can't give this a solid recommendation. It's a much like your AirTags. This is a perfectly fine lamp. Okay. So again, okay, all right. Yeah, okay, just hold on. I can explain. I just for those following along, I just put the link in the show notes, and Paul is critiquing. I can explain.
I'm already judging you.
I know. Just shut up. Let me do this, okay?
No, not until I tell you how ugly this lamp.
All right, go get it out of your system. Go.
It's ugly.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay. What don't you like? Okay, hold on. Wait, we'll get back to you. Okay, just hold on.
Okay.
Hold on.
Okay.
So a while back, I talked about how I bought a new LED lamp for my desk, downstairs where I record the podcast and play video games, and that lamp is perfectly fine. The one thing that lamp doesn't do, the old lamp, the old foldable LED arm, again, go listen to an old show if you or go look at the show notes if you want to get the link. But anyway, it has adjustable light settings for temperature and brightness, but it doesn't do LED colors. Now I know, Paul, you're not the biggest colored RGB fan in the world, but I've really been reading a lot of articles about sort of like desk aesthetic, right, and sort of building out your workspace. And I've done a pretty good job of keeping my desk relatively tidy down here. I've got my gaming computer that has the glass panel, and it's got purple RGB everything inside it with a white case, and it looks really good. I've got my ring light with my streaming camera, and I've got my wall panels for sound deadening. And the one thing that my desk is really missing is just a little bit of RGB color on the left-hand side of the desk. And I know that sounds crazy, and I know that is like the weirdest sentence that I probably have ever said on this podcast. But anyway, I've been sort of looking for a way to add a little bit of splash of color to the other side of my desk, and I've tried a few things. I had the Nano Leaf, or is that what they're called? Let me check. Nano Leaf. Pretty sure they're Nano Leaf. I've had these for a while. Yeah, they're the Nano Leaf wall light panels. You may have seen these online before. I'll just drop another link in the show notes here. This is what I had originally, and these are little translucent panels that you can stick to your wall that come with like those 3M command strips, and they're all linked together. They're a smart device. You can control the colors. You can arrange them in a pattern, and I had those behind my monitor. And for like the first 2 months that I had them, they were great. But now they do this thing where every once in a while I just can't turn them on unless I unplug them and plug them back in. And because the wires all run behind my desk, it's a huge pain in the butt, right? I just cannot be tasked with trying to fix that problem.
These Nano Leaf lights look like they belong in a startup design firm that can't pay their employees like a living wage, so they try to make the office really cool.
Yeah, so let me be clear that if you're on that Nano Leaf website right now, the product that I have is the Canvas, and those are squares. Those aren't your triangles or tangrams or anything.
Okay.
Still, your comment is still incredibly apt. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And again, those worked great. They provided a great deal of light, and what I liked about them is you could do scenes. So all the panels would sort of kind of morph colors and change, and it was really cool. But like I said, after a while, it just kind of stops working unless you unplug it and plug it back in. And I've written to support, and they're like, "Update your firmware," and I'm like, "I don't know how." And that's kind of where we left it.
You're not my real dad.
Yeah, exactly. Stop it. So I've had this little RGB void in my life for a while now, and I tried to do this the cheap route first. I went and bought some of those RGB strips, that like you can adhere to stuff like behind TVs or behind monitors, and I tried that underneath the desk. I tried it behind my monitor, and just couldn't really get it to look the way I wanted because, I have a monitor arm and there's shadows, and I know that I sound like the whiniest boy on the planet right now. So I was kind of cruising online. I was browsing Reddit one night, and there was a picture of somebody's custom computer that I was sort of looking at, and in the corner of the picture, I saw this lamp, and this lamp was a cylindrical lamp that was RGB colored, and I wasn't the only person that sort of noticed this lamp because it just kind of fit the aesthetic of what this person was doing with their desk perfectly. And a lot of people were asking questions, hey, what is that lamp? And they provided a name. They didn't provide an Amazon link, but they provided a name. And I sort of dug in a little bit here and did some research. And the model that I ended up buying was the Aukey table lamp touch sensor bedside lamp color changing RGB and dimmable warm white light night light for bedrooms, living rooms, and office. 2021 updated version. Good SEO. And what this is this is a relatively chonky lamp. The picture on Amazon shows a feminine hand sort of lightly grasping the base or the hilt of this lamp. And it is a touch lamp, much like when I was a child and my grandparents had those touch lamps that you could just touch and it would like be a little bit dim, and then you touch it again and it gets brighter, and then it's like you touch it one more time and it's like, ta-da, I'm totally bright, and then you turn it off again. So it sort of follows that principle, but it has this mode where if you touch and hold the base for 2 seconds, it goes into what is called color cycle mode, and it turns red, and then it starts to go through the spectrum of these colors, and it will continue to cycle through until you tap the base again, and it'll stay locked on that color. So like tonight, I came downstairs, I turned on the lamp, put it in color mode, let it get to like a turquoise color, tapped it, and I've got turquoise on the left side of my desk, purple on the right side of my desk, and I feel like I'm in like this weird EVGA fever dream, and I really like it. Now this lamp, as you noted, the lamp itself is not much to write home about. It has a translucent white plastic top, and you can either get a silver, space gray, rose, or gold base, which I think the implication of what they're going for there's a little it's a little transparent.
Yep, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. We didn't bother to actually match Mac colors, but we just call them the same thing. Yep.
Right. Yep. And I got the silver base because I think of the three, I think it looks probably best because it blends a little closer to the color of the lamp when it's not on. And it's perfectly fine. The one thing I don't like is that I have to go through the rigmarole of setting the color that I want every time.
Every time?
Every time.
Oh.
So like if I set it to this blue and turn it off and I turn it back on, I have to go through that whole rigmarole of setting the color again. I did not realize that. I did not do the appropriate homework for this model. Now, there are other models in this sort of same product family, as I'll call it, of these RGB lamps, where a lot of them seem to come with iPhone or other smartphone apps or remote controls for setting the colors. But I don't want some rogue RGB lamp on my Wi-Fi network. Right?
Yeah,
I'm not about all that. Like
sniffing all your packets and sending them off to a foreign government.
A remote or something that has memory. Right. Like seriously, if you go to that product page and you sort of scroll down, you will see that there are all manner of these things.
Oh yeah, there's quite a few.
There's quite a few, and a lot of them show a picture of what I think is supposed to be an iPhone with a color wheel, and you can set the color. Right?
Yep.
Like I don't want to live in a world where I have to join my lamps to a Wi-Fi network. And I say this as a smart home enthusiast, where I have wall switches and light switches and all this type of stuff on my Wi-Fi network already. Like I don't want some weird no-name Chinese lamp just sitting on my network.
Right.
I don't know. Maybe I'm being overly dramatic about it, but I don't know. But otherwise, it's pretty cool. I also played around with the idea of getting one of those, like I also looked at this one, because this would be, I think, almost perfect for what I would be after, because I could sort of put this at the corner of my desk and it would do what I want, because my desk is in a corner already. I looked at one of those, the Takahi color-changing table corner lamp, RGB mood lighting with remote, dimmable LED lamp for bedside table, gaming desk, 20.8 inches, 7 watts black. And this thing comes with its own remote, no Wi-Fi required, right? Like that would have been perfect. I could have got that, but I didn't because I didn't see that one at first. They also make these weird floor lamps too. I'm trying to find one. Let me see if I can get a good link here. Like these RGB floor lamps they're like crazy expensive. And honestly, I swear to God, all they are the same huge RGB strips that are like 10 cents a foot, just in a plastic cover, right? That's literally what they are. And it just cracks me up how much those are. Let me see if I can get. I haven't been able to find one yet. Of course, when I go looking for these, I can't find them, right? Like Amazon's like, "Are you sure you didn't mean a ring light, Drew?" No, I didn't. I don't mean a ring light.
I don't. I mean, more power to you. I'm glad you're happy, but this is a whole entire line of products where I'm just like, not for me.
Yeah, but you like nice LED lights. They don't. I mean, when I say LED lights, I don't necessarily mean color changing lights.
Yeah, but right? If I was, excuse me, I don't want to buy a lamp that can become purple. I don't need purple light.
Yeah, I didn't think I needed it either, but I really like it. It you know, I'll be honest with you, man. I can turn this color on and it seriously alters my mood. And I know that sounds nuts, but it totally does. It totally does. Here's one of these floor corner lamps that I'm talking about. Let me see if I can put this link in here. Again, Bluetooth, although this one looks like it comes with its own remote. This is the kind of thing that, you know, when I'm actually allowed to buy a house because the market will let me, this is the kind of thing I will put in some of my rooms. Probably my office. No. Oh.
No. I mean, this. I really.
You're disappointed in me. I can hear it. It's okay. You're allowed.
I don't get the whole RGB lifestyle at all. I want my light to be white or slightly yellow depending on my mood and what the outside's doing. I don't need it to be pink or purple or green. I like pink and purple and green. I just don't need my lights to be that. I don't know. You know what? I'm going to say it. I'm going to come clean.
Yeah.
I think it looks tacky.
Okay. All right. No, that's the kind of feedback that I need. Like that's what I need to hear, Paul.
Yep. I mean, but I mean, I look at every gaming PC, all of them have just lights coming out of it. My son's included. His keyboard does rainbow shit all the time. Just barfing rainbows constantly, and he loves it. And I look at it, I'm like, I couldn't even be in the same room as that thing. Ugh. Oh, I don't get it. It's not for me. I'm an old man, Drew.
I don't think that's it, man. I really think it is a taste thing, right? I genuinely get that. I really do. And it's fine. I value feedback, right? One of the most important lessons that I was ever taught is feedback is a gift. Even negative feedback is a gift. Now, how you interpret that feedback, right, is, how you kind of deal with it is kind of a measure of how you are. But you're right.
Like,
it is kind of tacky.
You can decorate your stuff however you want, and I don't have to. That's the beauty of America, I guess. You can do what you want, and I can do what I want, and you can be happy with your RGB, your corner floor lamp, RGB color changing standing lamps, dimmable LED, 61-inch tall reading lamp with Bluetooth remote, smart app control, soft lighting, warm atmosphere for living room, bedroom, studying.
So as you were reading that, I just realized they spelled remote wrong.
Oh, they did. It's with Bluetooth remote.
Remote.
Oh, I should really ask a question. How's the remote?
How's the remote? Wow. I just now saw that. Well, the reason I saw it is after I pasted it in the show notes, like Google was like, "What's a remote?" Right?
What's a remote?
What's a remote? Oh man, Amazon never change.
So, are you not happy with your Aki table lamp?
I just, I,
thing?
you
Or are
know,
you gonna get
I
something
just,
different or
wanted to
return
change.
it?
No, I'm gonna keep it because it's a great little lamp. It's a great little desk lamp. I'm not gonna get rid of that. That thing's awesome. And in fact, it was actually more money than this stupid RGB lamp.
Yeah.
And again, the other thing this RGB lamp doesn't do, even though it is an RGB lamp and probably could do this, is there is no color temperature control for the white. It is white.
Just white.
It is somewhere in the middle. It is not pure white. It is not warm. It is somewhere in the middle. So it's not like it's on either end of the spectrum, but I can't adjust it like I could my other LED light. Even though it has full spectrum RGBs in there, and you think that they would just put a little dial or something on the front, but they went for the minimalist approach. I get it. And size wise, it reminds me of like a Yeti cup. Like it's got some girth.
Yeah,
it's a girthy boy.
That's a good analogy. Yep.
Yeah.
I was thinking stretch soup can, but yours is much better. A Yeti cup.
Stretch
yes.
soup can.
Yeah. Because those don't exist, but a Yeti cup does. So.
All right. Well, anyway, it does not get my recommendation. It is serving its need, although I am already on the hunt for something that has slightly more control. It does not require me to join it to a Wi-Fi network. I have not been successful in finding any products that are in that weird Venn diagram of features that I want, and I will find one, and I will enjoy my RGB light. Really, really sad about it. Because I feel really bad about liking RGB now. So thanks.
No,
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I don't give a fuck. No, it's fine.
Exactly. There you go. You can do whatever you want.
I can do whatever I want. Mm-hmm. That's right. I'm an adult.
You don't need to ask me permission for your RGB lights.
Yeah, but of all the people in my kind of immediate sphere, your opinion is one of the ones I kind of admire the most.
Yeah, but I don't know.
And I knew you. I sort of secretly knew you weren't going to like this.
Like, PCs are gross, too. I mean, ugh. Why would you want to open up your computer? No, not for me anymore. Drew?
Yeah.
I'm bad at video games.
Yeah, I'm super excited to hear about this because I do not own a PS5, and what you're about to talk about is one of those PS5 exclusive, but I'm really excited to hear about this. So tell me about what you're going to talk about.
Oh, so I've been playing video games for a long time, and I've never felt so ashamed as I do right in this moment.
All right.
So generally speaking, I don't go for the super hard video games, the games that are hard to be hard, right? Games like the Dark Souls and all those. What is the other franchise? Shit.
Demon Souls, Dark Souls,
yeah, like
Bloodborne.
Bloodborne. Thank you. All of those. I've never played one. I have no interest in those. In that whole, well, if you suck, just get better kind of style. And I knew what I was doing. So, shame. This is the shame. So there's a game for the PlayStation 5 that came out last week called Returnal. And I wasn't interested in this game at all, like with the previews and the trailers. It's made by a company called Housemarque. They are famous for making bullet hell style games, right? Kind of side-scrolling or top-down kind of shooter games where there's just bullets going all everywhere. And like one of the main mechanics is a dash where you're basically invulnerable for a handful of frames on the screen, right? They call them iframes in the biz. Yep. But they made this game called Returnal, and it is a third-person action shooter with rogue-like elements. So dying and restarting with making little bits of progress and improvement every time is part of the game. The game looks absolutely stunning. And, when I started looking at the reviews coming out and watching some videos, I was right on the fence of like, is this game for me or not? It looked absolutely beautiful. But one of the reoccurring things about this game is people saying, hey, it's hard. It can take a while to get used to. And especially the second half of the game, the difficulty really, really ramps up. And I didn't buy it for a couple days when it first came out. I just kind of looked at it. And then one day on a after work, I was like, you know what? Screw it. You know, $70. That's what it costs now because thank you, Sony, whatever. You know what? It's not going to break the bank. I'm just going to buy it. How bad can it be? Right? How hard can this game be, Drew? I don't know if it's me in this game, but I suck.
Okay.
I suck with the red hot fury. I suck at this game unlike any game I have ever played before. It is embarrassing how badly I suck at this game.
So how far have you made it?
I have not made it halfway through the first biome.
Okay, so you're kind of in the first, and if I understand correctly, because I've read a little bit about this, there's four?
Four.
Yeah, okay.
Four. I have not made it to the halfway point in one. Well, actually, I've made it there. I have not beat it. I have not gotten past the halfway point in the first level.
Yes.
It's bad. I'm bad. I'm really, really, really bad at this game. Really bad. I've sat and I've watched like all the YouTubers on their tips and tricks and tried to pick up some stuff and try to apply them. And like, I'm just really, really, it's comical how bad. It's like when you hand like your grandmother a video game controller for the first time and you watch her play Mario and like she runs into the Goomba the first time or just like we have to hit this button to jump and then she jumps and falls right into the first hole. It's like that. It's like, does this person ever play video games before? Is this the first time that he's ever played video games? Does he have some sort of physical ailment in his hands? It's bad. It's real bad.
So this game showed up on my radar because it has this weird confluence of things that I love in a video game, okay? So when I first saw the preview trailer for it, it looks like it's got big sci-fi vibes, which I love.
Yeah, that's what took me into it. Like, it really feels like someone is like writing a love letter to Geiger or that kind of style, right? It's absolutely alien, and the story is like just leans into it, and like you're finding all this weird technology and you're trying to figure it out. The aesthetics are amazing, just absolutely beautiful.
Yep, and I like that it has elements of a roguelike where, you know, you make a run at trying to clear it. Yep. But if you die, you go back to the beginning, and oh, by the way, the layout is going to change on you. So it's not even like you can memorize a particular route or where the enemies are. It changes on you as you play it. I love games like that because it really keeps it fresh, right? I know on this show we've talked about Hades, right? And that whole sort of start over, continuously get better, both skill-wise and character-wise, because you're building yourself up with each run. I like that kind of gameplay loop. That doesn't mean that I enjoy every roguelike that I've ever played, but a lot of them, Hades, Risk of Rain 2, Enter the Gungeon, those games are hard by design because they want you to sort of make it just a little bit further each time, and there's that element of character progression of making yourself better every time. Now, that said, I am not a person who enjoys the difficulty porn games. I'm not a Demon Souls guy. Yep. I'm not a Bloodborne guy. I'm not a Neo or, you know, any of those other games. I'm not. It's not me, right? So I have a limit where if a game is just too hard, I just stop playing it. And, you know, when I saw this game, it was the first game I've seen for the PS5 that legitimately made me consider trying to get a PS5.
Yeah, I mean, I want this game to be for me. I don't think it is. Like, the aesthetics are beautiful. I'm digging, like, the parts of the story that I've gotten so far, because, spoiler alert, I die a lot, are great. It's engaging. Like, I'm like you. I've liked some roguelites. Like, Enter the Gungeon is fine. like
And Enter the Gungeon is balls hard. It's one of the hardest games I've ever played.
Yeah, I don't think I got super far in it, but I enjoy. Like I also bad at that, but I felt like I enjoyed that more. And like some of the other stuff, like Splunky, I really enjoyed that kind of the style. But I get like you, I've never really been for the hard games. And like I kept hearing the reviews and people saying, like, yeah, it can be hard and it can be frustrating. Like the runs can take a couple of hours and there's no really good save mechanic. So like, and the runs are so long that sometimes like dying really gets a real gut punch because like you felt like you were getting so far and then you die and you have to start the whole thing over again. And like, I love the aesthetics. I love the lighting effects because like you get these weird tentacly leathery monsters and they shoot giant glowing orbs at you in different patterns, right? Like even like I love how it looks. Like this game looks great watching it on YouTube.
You want to love it.
I want to love it.
You want to love it.
But like I grew up playing games like I'll point to like Tony Hawk, right? The skating games where like you just did the same thing over and over again, trying to get those combos and trying to get through them and getting better every time and like just constantly grinding and doing it and doing it and doing it. So like the repetition doesn't bother me, but man, like my brain just melts when I get that controller in my hand and I get past the first room and the thing starts shooting at me or this is what happens more likely. The first couple of rooms, I like, oh yeah, okay, this is it. I finally got it. I feel good now. Mm-hmm. And then I get to the next room and something else happens and there's a bad guy to my left and a bad guy to my right. And I run to the left to avoid it. And then he shoots at me and I dash and I fall off a cliff. I'm just like, that stunk. I've never felt this. I've never sucked this much at a video game before in my life.
See, that's...
and it's not like, okay, so like I kind of compare it to a game I played recently, Control, right? Lots of bad guys, lots of things happening, lots of things being shooting at, right? Like there's a lot of stuff going on in Control. It can be really hard at times. I enjoyed that game. I beat that game.
Love that game.
Yeah, I absolutely love that game. Great. Except for I did one of the two DLCs and the second one stunk and I stopped. But I absolutely love that game. So like, I know I'm capable of playing this kind of style of game. Like I know I can do it. And if it gets harder in the third, like the second half, whatever, like if I'm not good enough to get past that hump, that's fine. But man, I would sure love to get to the first boss. He looks really cool.
So, I totally get this because I once upon a time really, and actually I have tried several times because I think I own this game on like PC, Xbox, and PlayStation at this point just because I picked them up in like bundles or I somehow own them. But like Dark Souls or Demon Souls, like every once in a while I will get a bee in my bonnet to say, I'm going to try this game. And that game is not only frustratingly difficult, but they don't give you clear direction on what you're supposed to do. Yeah. The game basically wants you to bash your head against something until you realize, I guess I'm not supposed to be here. And then you've wasted a huge amount of your time trying to go somewhere that you just can't go. And I that is the part about that game that I absolutely despise. And I know, maybe I'm not a real gamer because I haven't beat that game, but whatever. Don't at me.
I've never even tried. I look at the reviews and read stuff like that game is just not for me.
But you know what, though? There are so many people that absolutely cherish that game for the combat and the story and all the things that we're talking about for Returnal is what these people love for Dark Souls and Neo and all those games. But, again, one of the brilliant things about Hades, right, going back to that for a minute, is Hades actually has a mode that lets you basically be invincible for the game.
Yeah, and just go through the story.
Because the story is so good.
Yeah.
And I'll be fully upfront with you. I'm not going to buy a PS5 for this, so I have been really interested in this game, and I actually read a plot summary, and I kind of know what happens. And I would have loved to experience this story, but if you're going to block a really good story behind a game that is actively like is sadomasochistic in its relationship with you, in that it makes you it pains you to play it, like why bother? Right? Like,
yeah,
I get it, man. I like playing a game for a story. Like, unless I'm playing like some dumbass Call of Duty toxic multiplayer round, like I enjoy playing a game for a story. Like, I have a lot of really good story heavy games. In fact, I'm going to talk about a really interesting one here in a minute, but yeah. Which I'm sure if you saw the show topics, I don't know if that's a head scratcher.
I've been waiting for this, and it keeps dropping lower and lower in the list. So,
I know. I want to go out on a high.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah.
But I want to be able to enjoy a game's story, and if you're gonna just hit me over the head with dumb mechanics or bad controls, forget it. Like I'm not gonna finish your game. Now, and that's the thing that I sort of want to say here. So the controls in this game, are they tight? Are they responsive? Or are they kind of fiddly?
No, I think it's really, really, really good. So there's two main mechanics: shooting and dashing. Yep. So dash. It's usually mapped to circle. I mapped it to one of the right trigger, like R1, simply so I didn't have to make my finger take my finger off the thumbstick as much. I've heard that could help. Spoiler alert, for me, it doesn't. You dash and you shoot. The weapons are incredible. Like, I love this game except for the fact that I suck at it. All the weapons feel different. They use the haptic triggers, so the feedback feels really good. So like every gun feels a little bit different on your, and on the right trigger. The left, it kind of does this thing where you pull the left trigger halfway, and it's resistive, right? So like it's kind of stops you halfway through, and if you do that, it's aiming, which is a useless game mechanic because you never want to aim because it slows you down. Or you can pull it all the way to use like a special alt mode that recharges, like you would expect. It's got like I've never played this game, but I've heard it compared to a lot like the active reload in Gears of War, where like you use, like, if you don't shoot your gun, eventually the bullets recharge, but if you shoot it all the way, you have to go through a reload mode where every gun has a slightly different bar and it fills from left to right, and if you hit it in this middle spot, it reloads a few seconds faster. That doesn't bother me. I can usually do that pretty well. So like it handles great. Like, it feels good to use. I think it handles well. It's just, I don't know, like my brain just turns into silly putty when I play this game. It's just like, nope, you're gonna die. So I don't know, like, this may be one of those games where I wait till like I do a staycation. I can really sink some hours into it and see whether I can do it, or maybe they'll put in a pity mode and make the difficulty lower so I can get through it. Or I mean, it's one of those games when you start it up, it's like, hey bro, this is a hard game. We made it to be hard.
Right. Don't be mad. You asked for this. Mm-hmm. Stop hitting yourself.
You paid for this.
Right. You paid us money. Man, I'm gonna make a suggestion to you. I think you need to stick with it, because I feel like you are sort of both financially and at this point emotionally invested in this game, to where when you beat that first boss,
I know it's gonna feel so good, but
it's gonna feel good, man. Like you're gonna have to chip away at it. And I think it's gonna. I feel like, for games like this, especially if there's like these iframes and dashing and all that stuff, like it feels like it's a kind of game where once you sort of get a rhythm of a fight down, you're gonna get it figured out.
Yeah, but I just look at all these stupid young game reviewers like, yeah, I played it and I made it to the boss the first time through. I'm like, fuck you.
Yeah,
fuck
but that's like
you.
But that's like me trying to compare myself to the 21-year-olds at my CrossFit gym. Like, I can't.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense for me to focus on them and see how they're totally crushing a workout while I'm about to die. It's just the important thing is that I'm there and I'm doing my thing and I'm getting a little bit better each time. And I think that's the kind of approach you need to take with this.
Yeah. We'll see.
And you're going to do it, man. You're going to beat the first boss, and then you're going to turn the game off and never play it again.
Maybe.
No, you'll get there.
Okay. I want to talk about your thing.
All right. So continuing the video game trend. So welcome to My Secret Shame section of the podcast. Okay. How do I even begin to talk about this? If you are a PC gamer, chances are that you have purchased and own several games on Steam. Steam is the online distribution platform. It's been around for years. It was sort of one of the first, if not the first, to do this. Now, there are different tags for games on Steam. Okay, there are tags for shooters. There are tags for tactical games and strategy games and all sorts of other games. There are also tags for games that are labeled adult. There's really no nice way to sugarcoat that. So if I go out to my Steam, if I go out to Steam right now, it is very, very easy to find the games that have extremely mature content. And by mature content, what I mean is nudity. Okay. So there are a lot of these sex games that sort of end up on Steam, and much like my Amazon and YouTube algorithms, my Steam algorithm is broken. Okay, like I get recommended the goofiest shit on Steam, and like these are games that are basically just somebody found a 3D model of a hot girl and built a quote unquote game around it, and they're selling it on Steam for $10, and they'll sell 10,000 copies and make themselves rich. Like that's. A lot of these games are not good. A lot of them are like
novels, like rap, like
So some of them are like 3D games where like they will basically ape a concept. Like if you're familiar with the whole battle royale concept, there have been a slew of adult anime based games where it's a third person view of a hot anime girl and you're trying to survive in a battle royale, right? And the gameplay's ass, like it's complete ass, but you're not there for that, right? If you read the Steam reviews, the common joke in the comments is can't play this game with one hand. Like that is the joke. Okay.
Got it.
So there's that. And
is it a lot? Right. Is it a lot of anime girls?
A lot of anime girls.
Okay.
A lot of anime girls. Now, in addition to games like that are garbage, there's also a lot of translated romance visual novels that you have to click through a bunch of text, but sooner or later you're going to get to a scene where someone's going to be naked. Okay. And I actually enjoy visual novels even outside of the nudity aspect. Like I have played other like visual novel games that have nothing to do with adult content on these distribution platforms before, but Steve's pretty lousy with those too. Now, I own a few of these games. I'm just going to come out and say it. It's just, bare my soul to the audience here. I own a few of these games. And then there's other like little cute games. Like the ones that get me is there's a series of games that are called Hunipop. And they are, at their core, they're a puzzle game. So the loop of this game is that you play like a puzzle. You play almost like a I don't even know what the right word for this is. Like a pattern matching game where each pattern matching scenario is you taking a girl on a date, and if you manage to complete the date 3 times with a girl, then you get the chance to sort of conclude the date, if you catch my drift, by playing another variation on the matching game, and then you get to see naked pictures. Okay, so that's what we're dealing with.
Does she go? Hee?
Yes, she does.
Okay.
Yep, absolutely.
I watched anime before.
Lot of high pitched anime girl moaning.
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
You see what I'm getting at here. Okay.
Yep.
Now, I say all that to say is that yes, I feel gross about this, and I'm not super happy about it. In fact, I have an entire separate Steam account where that's where I play those games. So no one on my friends list know that it's happening. Like, okay, it's not even like I go offline.
Until now.
Well, I'm not going to tell anybody what that username is. But it's not even like I go invisible, right? Because I don't even want these achievements to show up in my list. Like that's where I'm at. Okay,
you have your shame Steam account.
I have my shame Steam account. That is a 100% true thing. Hey, wait a second. Hold on. I'll prove this to you. I'll prove this to you. Hold on a second.
Okay.
I will prove it to you. I ask you not to.
I won't share. Okay.
I will ask you not to share. Let's see here. How do I do this? I can get to the community,
okay.
And then I can search for people. Let me type in my ID.
Okay.
Damn it! How do I find this? I'm desperate to prove this to you.
I believe you.
How do? So okay, hold on. Let's just take a second because there's only 73 people that apparently have the same username as me. Figure that out.
Oh,
I'm trying to find it. Oh my god, I'm down a weird rabbit hole right now, and I'm not okay with it.
Is your username kind of dirty? Please tell me it's kind of dirty.
No.
No,
without giving anything away, I would say that my username is strikingly similar to my existing username.
Okay.
For reasons that if I could actually frickin' find this thing. Oh, you know what it is?
Are you private?
Yeah, there it is. Oh, the profile's private. No, I did that on purpose. Yeah,
just in case.
Just in case, right? Pass through probably did this for a reason because he knew it eventually dispel a Stark secret. And he's protecting himself. Anyway,
plausible deniability.
Okay. Yeah, exactly. Nope, it's definitely not me. Okay, so all that said, there was a game that showed up in my recommended list. And when I saw the title, I thought I knew what this game was going to be. And then I started to watch the preview videos and read about it, and I bought it. And I don't feel bad about it.
Okay.
So let me tell you the name of the game.
Okay.
Okay. The name of the game is Lust from Beyond.
All right, it's going into Google right now.
All right.
Okay.
So here's the premise of this game. This is a very atmospheric horror game about sex. Okay.
Okay.
So you talked about how it's H.R. Geiger, right, for Aliens?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So there is a heavy Geiger influence in this game too, and you play the part of this guy that ends up in this weird Massachusetts town where you basically stumble upon a very freaky and very unnerving sex cult.
Oh no! Oh no!
Oh, you're watching videos.
I'm looking at some of the pictures. Oh no!
It's extremely disturbing.
Oh no!
I don't know what you're looking at, but it's extremely disturbing. Okay.
Yep. Okay.
There's this whole like weird alien dimension that you go to that is apparently the realm of some like Cthulhu style sex god type thing, and I know that I'm not really doing it justice explaining this. And let me be clear. I hate games that have jump scares, and I hate horror games. I've never been a huge fan of Resident Evil games. Yeah, I've never been a fan of like games where like Slender Man or any of those games that are like, designed to scare you. This game doesn't have that. There aren't jump scares in this game, but there are sections of the game that are just very spooky. And like you've played Mansions of Madness, right?
Yeah.
You know how in Mansions of Madness you have your character has hit points and sanity points?
Mm-hmm.
You have that here too. So like when you're walking around, if your character sees something weird, you start to lose your sanity a little bit and things get even weirder. So, I'm sort of glad I looked into this one a little bit because I really feel that there's a good story-based game here. Like the voice acting isn't garbage. The graphics are actually pretty good. And the story's been pretty engaging. There's nudity. Don't get me wrong. There's some weird ass nudity going on in here. Like
I've seen some of it. Yes,
like topless women on like walking stilts. I don't understand what that's all about. It's a fetish I didn't know I had, but whatever. But I sort of been playing this game and I'm sort of enjoying it. Yeah, it's really fascinating. I'm about 2 hours into it, and it has some. I mean, it's a game that's built in Unity, so don't go here looking for the most in-depth like play experience. Like somebody built this in Unity, but they obviously put a ton and effort into making the game look good, telling a pretty interesting story so far. It's got like big Dungeons and Dragons campaign vibes. I don't know, man. Like maybe I'm overselling this, but it's a fascinating game. The name of the game is Lust from Beyond. Don't play this with your kids in the same state as you. Like, just if you're at all interested in an interesting game that has adult and mature and sex type themes and like weird sex gods, and you trying to maintain your sanity while you go through this weird Massachusetts town that is called Bleakmore.
Bleakmore.
You will enjoy this game. So if I can't give my crappy RGB light my seal of approval for this podcast, I'm going to give it to this. And I don't feel as shameful about this one so far. Now, if we get to a point in this game where the story goes off the rails a little bit, because they're walking a pretty tight line right now, and I don't know where the story's going either. Like maybe they're going to throw a twist in here. I think I know where it's going. But I think you would actually enjoy this, just based on the art direction, the style, and the storytelling mechanisms in here. It's pretty good. And I really don't want to talk too much about the plot, just because it is pretty interesting. Like there's some stuff that happens at the beginning of the game that I'm like, holy shit. And it has literally nothing to do with the monsters or the sex. Like it's like it's pretty compelling character development, I guess. And I know I sound like the guy that says he reads Playboys for the article. Like I'm not trying to be that guy. I'm just telling you, like there's a good storytelling game here, kind of behind this whole adult content.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, it's recent. It just came out recently in March.
It did.
Okay.
It did. So that somehow the fact that it was new, it wound up on my Steam like recommended list, and I saw it, and at first I sort of clicked past it, like, oh, come on, Steam, don't do this, right? Like, don't try to sell me more sex. And as a pretty horny guy to begin with, it doesn't take much.
Okay, so I pulled it up on Metacritic just to see what the scores were, and it's a 64, which is solid for this game.
For an indie game, is pretty friggin' solid.
Can I read you the summary?
Yes, I guess.
A Victorian mansion, a cult worshipping an otherworldly, erotic deity. Among all that, you explore a world inspired by the works of Lovecraft, Geiger, and
I don't know what that other word is.
Yeah, whatever. Some other dude who's probably into weird shit. See for yourself that there are no limits to dark ecstasy.
I know, and I know you're reading that, and I can feel people rolling their eyes in the future.
That's why I read it like that. Yeah,
I get it. I totally get it. But you have to believe me. There's a
right.
good game in here, man.
Well, if I'm ever alone in my house ever again,
and look, this is, and you're right. This is an indie game. It is from like a group of like 5 people or something.
Right.
No major outlet is reviewing this, right? Like,
so I'm not going to find the IGN review for this one.
No, I doubt it.
Oh,
it's the number 72 best PC game of 2021.
Mm-hmm. 29 most discussed. So I mean, yeah, because
people are talking about it.
People can't talk about it. It must be selling well enough. So,
and when you look at the store page for the game. The reviews are very positive, right?
Yeah, okay.
Like, and look, you're going to get some joke reviews in there because that's the best played half/naked in the dark alone in a cult robe. Like that's the number one most helpful review on the Steam store right now. That was the other name I was sort of searching for when I was describing it. Huge Lovecraft vibes here, huge. Yeah. And I dig that, right? That's why I like Mansions of Madness. That's why I like Call of Cthulhu. That's why I like all that stuff. And yeah, if you look up any of the pictures for this game, it's extremely weird. And like the sound direction is also kind of creepy because some of the shit you see makes everything squishes. It's like everything feels sticky. I don't know. It's hard to understand. But anyway, solid seal of approval. I have a shame. Feel free to ridicule me. It's totally fine.
Please let us know how you feel on Twitter.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or, you know what? Better yet, if you also love this game, let us know so Drew doesn't feel so bad.
Yeah. No, I feel bad about a lot of things I said on this particular episode. So, all right. What do you say we wrap this?
Yeah, let's do it. You can find us on the internet at doingtheirbest.com or on Twitter at doingbestpod. You can find me there at Paul Baylor. And where can we find you, Drew?
Yeah, we're on Twitter at Pittsburgh, PITTFURG.
Awesome. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Bye.